The Smiths, and There Is a Light That Never Goes Out. It's Jeremy Vine here on BBC Radio 2, and we're talking about the Queen.
The BBC. It is, for most people, in some way part of daily life. But every 10 years, the government gets a chance to say what it thinks the broadcaster should be doing.
We're going to Whittingdale next.
And from the beginning of John Whittingdale's speech, there was a clear message. The BBC can continue to be popular and make programmes such as Strictly Come Dancing, but only if it can prove they're truly different from the other channels.
Commissioning editors should ask consistently of new programming, is this idea sufficiently innovative and high quality, rather than simply, how will it do in the ratings?
John Whittingdale's white paper confirmed the BBC's licence fee and charter for the next 11 years. The BBC Trust will be abolished. The independent government regulator, Ofcom, will take over regulation. And some star salaries will be revealed. Not the full details, but we'll be told who's earning more than £450,000.
I think it's a well-known fact. It's not exactly breaking news that people who do what I do for a living, compared to people in the real world, get paid too much money. You know, we've got jobs that people would kill for, or we get to do things that people would pay to do if they could afford it, and sometimes those things aren't even available to buy. Most of us work part-time anyway, so just pay us less. That's what I would do. It's not rocket science.
Last Sunday, the Wolf Hall director Peter Kosminski made an impassioned speech defending the BBC. Today's white paper was far from the evisceration that some had feared, but he has more than a few qualms, especially about the new BBC board. Half the directors will be appointed by the BBC, the others by the government.
Wow.
The Prime Minister said that the BBC is one of the best-known brands in the world. I think what he should have said is that BBC is one of the most trusted brands in the world. And I think if it becomes known in the world that the government of the day here in Britain is able to put 6 nominees onto the editorial board of the BBC, that trust of the BBC as an impartial broadcaster will be damaged and possibly lost.
But given some of the suggestions that had appeared in the papers and didn't materialise in the white paper, some feel the government hasn't gone far enough in reforming the BBC.
Well, what I would like to happen is for something to be bold and radical. I'd like to see the licence fee scrapped. I think it holds back the BBC. It's been overtaken by Sky. And one day the BBC will realise that it is actually holding them back.
But what will all this mean for programmes? Welcome to Walford. Now, the BBC is being asked to be more distinctive, more mindful of its competitors. What does that actually mean for the popular programmes, the ones that are the mainstay of the BBC One evening schedules? BBC One, it's felt, needs to change. Said to be too similar to ITV with its recipe of soaps, drama and entertainment. The question now for it and Radio 1 and 2 is what exactly distinctive would mean on air.